We'll call the meeting to order and welcome to those of you who are currently with us. This is the regular meeting of Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West, held in Council Chambers at 216 Main Street West, Swan River, Manitoba. This 25th day of January 2022 at 7 p.m. Council Chambers cannot accommodate social distancing, therefore public attendance is by conference call, and that remains in effect. Present in Chambers, myself, Deputy Reeve Blosha, Councillor Wills, Kushniryk, and Foster, as well as our CAO James Webb, and doing a podcast, Jeremy Bergen. Absent with prior written notice, Councillor Pierrepont. First resolution, be it resolved that notice of absence submitted by Council Member Pierrepont regarding the regular meeting of Council held this 25th day of January 2021, 22 that should read, shall be accepted as received. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Wills, seconded by Councillor Foster. All in favor?
Yes.
That is carried. Next resolution, be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of Council held this 25th day of January 2022 shall be adopted as presented. A mover, please.
Yes.
Moved by Councillor Blosha, seconded by Councillor Kushniryk. Any changes to the agenda requested? If not, all in favor? That is carried. Next resolution, be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting and the public hearing held on January 11th, 2022 be adopted as presented. Mover, please. Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Wills. Are there any errors or omissions? Not, we'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Do we have anything in the public works that you want to
No
share?
public works, no delegations, no petitions.
Okay, we'll move on to 7.1 then, nuisance beaver application. Resolution reads, whereas council is aware that nuisance beaver continues to be a problem in the rural municipality for landowners, and whereas the municipality continues to hire trappers to remove problem beaver, therefore be it resolved that council for the municipality of Swan Valley West shall approve the application for cost share funding through the Provincial Farmland Beaver Program to help offset costs in continuing this practice. Mover, please. Moved by Councillor Blosha, seconded by Councillor Foster. Any discussion? Questions?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Every year, keep her coming.
Are we sticking with the rate that we used last year?
I would assume.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing further. Call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Next resolution, be it resolved that the Benito Fire Department response report for the months of December 2021 shall be received by council of the municipality of Swan Valley West. Mover, please. Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Blosha. Any questions on the report? Not, all in favor? That is carried. Next resolution, be it resolved that the Rural Animal Control Officer's report for December 2021 be received by council of the municipality of Swan Valley West, and be it further resolved that payment for the above services be approved as submitted. Mover, please. Moved by Councillor Foster, seconded by Councillor Blosha. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor? It is carried. What time is the first public hearing scheduled for?
7:10.
7:10? We're at 7:08.
Time we get out and back into the other one, it'll be 7:10.
Okay. Okay, next resolution. Be it resolved that we do hereby adjourn the regular meeting of council at 7:09 PM to open the following public hearing. Variance application on the northeast quarter of 343527. Number 2, conditional use application on the northeast 343527. Special Services Bylaw number 0089-21 and Special Services Bylaw number 0090-21. Be it further resolved that we shall reconvene the regular meeting of council immediately following the adjournment of said public hearings. Do we have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Wills. All in favor? That is carried.
Menu up
To
to
go to menu, huh? Back to agendas or?
Yep. Agenda number one, public hearing one.
Number 1 first. Okay, call the hearing to order.
I'm just gonna check. Somebody joined us on the phone. Who was that? Just a few minutes ago.
It might have been Bob Thomas.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Welcome.
James, I hate to interrupt. Ron here. Am I the only one that it keeps cutting out and cutting in? Cutting out, like it's
think that's
very
something
annoying
with
here.
that phone.
Sometimes I can't hear you guys,
Humor
and then
is-
when you start talking, it cuts
Because
in
it does
again.
that to me. when
That's what I was having
too.
trouble too.
Yeah, we are hearing some clicking going on, but don't know why. There, it happened again. And again. Is everyone on mute?
Yeah, I'm on mute. It just cuts right out. Like I don't hear, you'll be in midstream of saying something and you'll cut right out and it'll come back on again.
It was doing that to me last time I had called in for a meeting, and I found that if I made background noise, I could get you guys back. I don't understand that, but that's what it was doing.
Well, why don't you try your phone unmuted, just leave it on, and see if that works better. And if it does, then I guess you'll have to watch what you say, unless you're talking to us.
I had that trouble too there. You know,
Yeah, it would just kind of fade out.
Yeah, didn't hear the whole thing.
And I found that even if it went like this to the
Yeah.
phone, you guys are back.
So maybe Bob or Meredith could tell us if that's happening to them as well over the next few minutes.
It's not happening to me.
Okay, thanks.
How about you, Bob?
I think mine is fine.
Okay, thank you.
That's good.
Okay, maybe just call back in, Ron.
Okay, I'll try it because I think I heard this when I was waiting for the moderator. I could hear it cutting in and cutting out. I'll hang up and I'll come back in. Sorry to make a trouble.
Not a problem, we'll put the meeting on hold for a minute. there's nowhere will I be using his name, is there?
No,
Oh.
you don't have to. Just leave this part up, just call, just this,
We're still on
the
the first,
presence, because we already did that part of
we're still on the first one,
it.
And that is under what? Under here? No, that's the road.
No, just up to call to order. Up, right, down one.
Oh,
right? There it comes.
Okay, right there, yeah. Okay, no noise now. We'll try it. That was you, Ron, correct?
Yeah, I'm back on. I can hear it at my end.
okay, excellent.
Good.
So we will open the public hearing. This is a public hearing held by Council of Municipality of Swan Valley West in council chambers at 216 Main Street West, Swan River, Manitoba. It's 25th day of January 2022 at 7:10 p.m. and it is in regard to an application for a variance under the Rural Municipality of Swan River zoning bylaw number 2383-04. Present, myself, Deputy Reeve Blosha, Councillors Wills, Kushniryk, and Foster, as well as our CAO James Webb, and doing a podcast, Jeremy Bergen. So at this time, I'll open the floor if there are presentations either for or against the application. Please state your name and begin your presentation. Anyone wishing to make a presentation? Third and final time, anyone wishing to make a presentation either for or against the application? There being none, we'll read the resolution. Whereas the Council for the Municipality of Swan Valley West has received an application for a variance on the property known as DESC Northeast 343527W, are the roll number 100-600, specifically to vary the minimum requirement front yard setback distance for a building from 125 feet to 50 feet within the AG Ag Zone as allowed under Table 4.1 AG Agricultural General Zone. Use and bulk table of the RM of Swan River zoning bylaw number 2383-04. And whereas notice of the public hearing was posted and delivered to adjacent landowners in accordance with Part 6 of the Planning Act, and the municipality has not received any objections with respect to said variance application. Therefore be it resolved that Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West does hereby approve the aforementioned variance as per the application dated September 27, 2021, and shall issue variance order number 2022-01, and be it further resolved that the Reeve shall be authorized to sign said order on behalf of the municipality. Do we have a mover for that resolution? Moved by Councillor Wills, seconded by Councillor Kushniryk. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor? That is carried. Next resolution, be it resolved that this public hearing shall now adjourn at 7:17 p.m. Mover, please. Moved by Councillor Foster, seconded by Councillor Wills. All in favor? That is carried. Okay, the next hearing. Public hearing held in Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West in Council Chambers at 216 Main Street West, Swan River, Manitoba, this 25th day of January 2022 at 7:18 p.m. regarding an application for conditional use under the Rural Municipality Swan River zoning bylaw number 2383-04. Present, myself, Deputy Reeve Blosha, Councillors Wills, Kushniryk, and Foster, our CAO James Webb, and podcast Jeremy Bergen. At this point in time, I would open the floor for anyone who is interested in making a presentation either for or against the application. Anyone wishing to make a presentation either for or against the application? The third time, anyone willing to make a presentation either for or against the application? Okay, there being none, we'll go to the resolution. Whereas the Council for the Municipality of Swan Valley West has received an application for a conditional use permit on the property known as DESC Northeast 343527W R100-600, specifically to allow for an electrical business repair establishment within the AG zone as allowed under Table 4.1 AG Agricultural General Zone. Use and bulk table of the arm of Swan River zoning bylaw number 2383-04. And whereas notice of the public hearing was posted and delivered to adjacent landowners in accordance with Part 6 of the Planning Act, and the municipality has not received any objections with respect to said conditional use application. Therefore be it resolved that Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West does hereby approve the aforementioned conditional use request as per the application dated September 27th, 2021, and shall issue conditional use order number 2022-01, and be it further resolved that the Reeve shall be authorized to sign said order on behalf of the municipality. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Blosha, seconded by Councillor Kushniryk. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor? That is carried. Be it resolved that this public hearing shall now adjourn at 7:21 p.m. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Wills, seconded by Councillor Foster. All in favor? That is carried.
This next one is,
Garbage.
this number 3 is supposed to start at 7:30.
Oh,
Yeah,
so we can't go to this one yet.
just might have to take a
Okay.
break and then come back.
Oh, yeah, here we go at 7:30. Wondered why there weren't more people on. And that's the reason. Okay, the next hearing is not scheduled until 7:30. It's now 7:22. We will take a few minutes intermission, and that will allow those that are interested to call in and our CEO to list them.
Everybody can just stay on the line.
It is now 7:34. It's 4 minutes past the slated starting time. So I will call this hearing to order, and I would like, first of all, to welcome those who have joined us by telephone. And we would ask that when it is time to make presentations, that you be concise and to the point, and also be respectful. This is a public hearing held by Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West, held in Council Chambers at 216 Main Street West, Swan River, Manitoba. this 25th day of January 2022 at 7:34 p.m. regarding special service proposal bylaw number 0089-21, providing for regular pickup of residential household garbage within specific areas of the municipality. In chambers, we have myself, Deputy Reeve Blosha, Councillors Wills, Kushniryk, and Foster. Also our CAO James Webb, and doing a podcast, Jeremy Bergen. This bylaw is basically affecting the areas surrounding Swan River, the settlement of Kenville, Durban, and the periphery of Benito. We went on this route because previously we had been asked by individuals in the periphery of Swan specifically to provide service to pick up garbage on every 2-week basis. So we have gotten numbers from a contractor who is capable of doing so, and we can get into that a little bit later once questions come in and presentations are made. So at this point in time, I would like to open the floor to anyone who is prepared to make a presentation either for or against the application. Just identify yourself and we will give you the floor. Now, all of you, I think, have muted your phones, so if you're trying to talk, please unmute your phone.
Well, I guess I'll start. It's Shelley Holanati.
Welcome, Shelley. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, I believe that council is in receipt of the letter that I have submitted, and I'll just highlight, I guess, basically our objection to this bylaw, mainly for the reasons that it's a very costly endeavor for, you know, members of our community. And I can take my own garbage and recycle to the landfill here in Swan River for $5, and every couple of weeks, and it costs me $10 a month, and I can't justify spending the kind of money that you're progressing here. I guess that's it.
Okay. Would there be an amount in your mind that you think would justify you to agree to the bylaw?
I don't know. I guess a happy medium, maybe, you know, if we could cut that number in half.
Okay, we're just...
I know that's probably a little extreme, because I know contractors do cost an awful lot of money. But for ourselves, we have access, we're close to town, and we can do this for very little.
Very little out of pocket. I understand. Perhaps I should have mentioned that included with the pickup is a bin, a large bin on wheels, similar to the ones that are visible in Swan now and again on Wednesdays and I guess Thursdays also. They're blue bins, and that's what we put our recyclables into. So they are a nice big bin, but we hear you. Every household has different situations and different scenarios, so if you have...
Absolutely. I mean, there's just the two of us in our home, and, you know, we have very little garbage, so it for us, it just doesn't pay.
Okay. Thank you very much for those words. Is there anyone else who is prepared to either speak for or against? the application?
Yes, Don Mueller, I would speak.
Good evening, Don. Welcome.
How are you doing?
We're doing good. How about you?
Okay, good. Yeah, I would say I would be in favor. We're just talking about the garbage right now, right?
Yes.
For me, I am in favor of it. Yes, I can, if I just think of my fuel to go to the garbage dump, it's less than this, but it's my time as well. Plus, I have to go when the garbage dump is open. And depending on my work schedule and so on, that sometimes doesn't always work. So for me, it's definitely worth it. But the question about the garbage bin that you just finished mentioning, that's for the recycling, right? Is there a garbage bin provided for the garbage as well?
Oh, absolutely. You get two bins. I don't know what color the garbage bin would be. The recycle would likely be a blue bin, but a gray or a brown or whatever. But no, there would be two bins. One for garbage, one for recycling.
Yeah, okay.
And those are provided by the contractor at no additional cost. Any other question, Don, or comment?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there anyone else that has a question or a comment either for or against? We have one in house here from Mr. Bergen.
I've noticed that the fee for service is comparable for the next 5 years. When do you expect the service to come into play, given that we are paying the full amount for the whole year?
You wouldn't be paying the full amount for the whole year. It would be, what do you call it?
Prorated.
Prorated, exactly. It would be prorated. So if it were to come into effect March 1, you'd pay for 10 months. So it would be a reduction off of that.
So this 2022 number is the estimation if it was the full year?
Yes. The reason that there was an increase in 24, is it? Or 25, whatever year it was stated by the contractor, no? As an increase. And of course, by that time, it would be a full year, so, yeah, it would just be the first year that would be prorated to the number of months that the service was actually delivered.
Okay, very good.
Okay, thank you for that. Anyone else on the phone have a question or comment?
It's Shelley Holinatti again. I'm sorry for the interruption. I just had one question that I'd forgot to ask before. You said that there was going to be a bin for the garbage. What if there is more garbage than the bin will hold? Are you charged extra for that amount?
No, but they're not your average bin that you and I would have at our household now. They would probably hold, I'm gonna say, at least 3 big black bags of garbage. They are quite large.
Okay.
And once
That
you,
was just something that I had forgotten to ask for before.
yeah, no, typically, at least at my place, my garbage container will hold 1 black bag. And then you would have to jump on it to get anything else in the container. But this is a large rollout container that can actually have quite a bit of weight in it. If you get it tipped back on its wheels, it acts as like a wheelbarrow would, and the weight is carried by the undercarriage of the bin itself.
Okay, thank you.
And how it would happen is you would roll to the end of your driveway and leave them there with the lid opening in the right direction. It's got arrows on the bin itself. The truck would come by. It's picked up mechanically. There is no labor component to it outside of flicking a switch to activate the mechanics of the pickup arm. It's dumped and then set back down on the ground. And then it would be the homeowner's responsibility, obviously, to roll it back into their garage or wherever they would choose to keep it. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else have a comment?
Reeve, Galloway.
Yes.
It doesn't affect me, but I have seen in Camsack the bins for garbage are the same size as the recycle bins, you know, those great big ones, and they were black.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I assumed they would be the same size. I wasn't quite sure what color they would be. Okay, is there anyone else that has a question or a comment either for or against the application? Now, we have received some correspondence from some people, and I had expected them to join us tonight to express their views. They have indicated their position on it, and we were actually disappointed, I guess, in the number, so few responses from the area. We are covering quite a large area, and so for that reason, on the weekend, I made some calls locally and spoke to a few people, and many of the people were under the understanding that it was a go-ahead, and so they were not made aware, or they were not aware that they had to actually respond to that thing if they wanted to have their voice heard. So I'll call once more. Are there anyone else who either is in favor or against the application?
This is Jim Dick, Swan River. I have a question.
Go ahead.
In town, garbage and recycling pickup costs about $158 a year. Why the high costs on the quote for garbage pickup in the RM? Can you explain that to me?
First off, the price in town is not $158, but actually $177. But that being as it may, the town contracted with OSS, I believe, 3 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone? About 3 years ago. And so the costs were different then. Fuel costs, as an example, were not half of what they are now, but they were much lower than what they are now. That would be one reason. The second reason is that the collection of the garbage itself, not the recyclables, but the garbage itself, is done by town employees using a piece of equipment from the town. So there would be a difference there. They can't operate seeking a profit, so they would have to do it at dead cost. And all of the other incidental costs, such as cost of the equipment, etc., the town residents are taxed for that under general assessment. So it's not the true cost of the pickup of garbage for sure. Obviously, the recycle would be picked up by OSS in our situation as it is in town. And the difference, whatever they are paying, I don't know per household, but it would have been because that price is already 3 or 4 years old. Does that answer your question, or do you have another question?
No, that's the only question I had.
Okay. What are your feelings with regard to the service? Would it be of benefit to you?
I personally feel that right now that it is too costly.
Okay, well, I don't expect costs will go down with the price of fuel, crude oil going up over 86 bucks a barrel, I think it is today. And just a couple of years ago, actually only a year ago, it was in the $40 range. So the price of oil has actually doubled in the last year. Okay, is there anyone else that has a question or a comment either for or against?
Ron here. I would just like to get clarification, if possible, on I guess the people that phoned in or sent emails, the people that are called in with their opinions tonight, how is it going to be tabulated on if this is a go or a nay?
Well, obviously, everyone has a voice that decided to contact us. I can't speak for council, but there will be discussions regarding whether we go forward with it or not, or if we do a broader survey. That I cannot tell you because I can't speak for other members of council. But that's what I would want to do. I would want to investigate this further. Just for general information, there were requests, as I said, that's why we went down this road, and a lot of time and effort, and as a result, money has been spent in building these bylaws, in doing all of the research required for mailing addresses for everyone who would be affected, and then finally, obviously, making the letters and the forms that were sent out to all of the residents that would be affected, postage, etc. So this was not done on a whim. It was done because some people had come forward and actually had requested these services. And so that's why it was done, and there is, as I say, a sizable investment in it. So I would not want to see it just carted or discarded to the side without doing a broader tally of people who, as I said, had the misconception that they felt that it was going in and accepted it, and that was kind of the end of it.
Yeah, that's kind of my question, Bill. I understand the work that's gone into it, and I apologize, I should refer you to Reeve. But when you state that is it going to be a council decision if this is going forward, or is it going to be a ratepayer by doing a survey? Because the last public hearing some time ago, there was a consensus that somebody was going to come around the area and do a survey, and to my understanding, that never took place. So who's going to be the deciding factor if this is a positive or a negative?
Well, it will be council's decision, as all decisions are, but it will be based on the will of the public, put it that way.
Yeah, because right now I submitted an email and I'm of the negative because I believe there's more information that we as ratepayers need to understand and get some clarity. As Jim Dick pointed out, like we're only 2-3 blocks away from where OSS already cut off their pickup for the town, and yet it seems to be pretty expensive for us being only a couple blocks away, that we're double the amount of money and only half the service.
Well, it's not double the amount of money, first off, and secondly, I tried to explain, perhaps you couldn't hear, that contract that the town signed with them was signed 4 years ago, I'm guessing, and costs were a whole lot different then. Plus the fact there was an individual locally who offered some competition. He is not in play this time, and that may have some bearing on the cost as well. Councillor Blosha, you had something to add?
Fair enough, but that's my concerns, I guess, going.
Yeah, well, if you have any other questions, Ron, you said that you wanted some other questions answered or whatever, now's the time to do it.
No, I think that was pretty well it. I was concerned about, out here in the rural area, we get a little more, we're open to weather, not, the town is protected a lot more, and I'm sure we can't secure our bins at the end of the drive because how they have to pick them up. But my yard in the past, when laundry services or Lions used to pick up Mother Nature had a nice way of disputing some of that cardboard and stuff from the recycling into my yard, and I don't appreciate if these bins are going to get knocked over and something's going to happen in that respect. That's my concern is that, but I say the cost is, I would just like a little more explanation. And did we explore, I know it was overrun when we had the recycling containers in town here at the RM site, but I only seen 2 or 3 bins there at the most. Did we ever think of maybe trying 6 or 8 bins for recycling? Because obviously it was very popular because there was always lots of recycling piled up there.
There was also a lot of garbage piled up there, everything from pamper diapers to 2x4s and pieces of fiberglass and, you know, huge, I don't know what it would have been used for, a huge plastic drum that was cut in half. And the bins themselves, the number I don't think would make any difference, because many times the bins were only partially filled and there was all kinds of material on the ground. Heavy bags of wine bottles, as an example. And rather than open the bag and throw the bottles in 2 at a time or whatever, they just threw them on the ground. So I think that the town tried it. We, as a result of seeing that, tried it also, and both councils came to the conclusion that it would not work. It has to be either personal responsibility in the form of a bin that you would roll out, or somewhere behind locked gates, supervised delivery of the thing. I don't think that you should worry that the bins would blow over when there's material in them. As I say, they're huge. I don't put mine out until it is full, and it probably weighs 100 to 150 pounds minimum. So the wind is not going to be moving that. There was problems with litter when we had the other contractor doing it, because they were in open containers, open boxes, recycled boxes. And yes, the wind got a hold of that material. Used to be the same when the firm in town,
SBS.
pardon?
SBS.
No, the firm that used to collect.
Oh.
The Lions.
The Lions.
Lions,
When the
right.
Lions collected, they used just boxes as well. But since OSS started doing it, I believe they've always had bins, and so they don't blow over when they're full. We see some regular garbage cans rolling around on the street on a really windy day once they've been emptied, but I've never seen one of these bins tipped over even on a windy day. And I know that some people have suggested that they save money by going to the landfill once or twice a month or 3 times a month or whatever, and pay $5 for the tipping fee. We understand it. We don't know when it's going to be implemented, but we understand that that fee is not going to be remaining at $5, that there will be a substantial increase, doubling at a minimum of that fee as well. So just, that's kind of a heads up for you. But if we have any others, then we'll entertain now on the garbage. If not, we will close this part of this hearing and go to the next one, which is on the recycling. Any other comments?
I'll make one more comment, and I don't know if this can count as a vote or not, but it's Don Bueller here again.
Go ahead, Don.
Our son-in-law and daughter couldn't be in on this conference call, but they definitely are for the garbage as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, if there are no further, we will adjourn this hearing. And the resolution reads, be it resolved that this public hearing shall now adjourn at 7:59 p.m. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Foster, second by Councillor Blosha. All in favor? That is carried.
Did we have anybody join on the phone in the last 20 minutes that hasn't stated their name yet?
I accidentally dropped my call, so I'm just back on.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Anybody else that joined us during that conversation about the garbage recycling or garbage pickup? Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will call the last public hearing to order. This has to do with recycling, pickup as well. And again, want to welcome those that are on the telephone. This is a public hearing held by Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West in Council Chambers at 216 Main Street West, Swan River, Manitoba, this 25th day of January 2022 at 8 p.m. regarding Special Services Proposal Bylaw number 0090-21, providing for regular pickup of residential recyclable material within specific areas of the municipality. Present in chambers, myself, Deputy Reeve Blosha, Councillors Wills, Kushniryk, and Foster, our CAO James Webb, and doing a podcast, Jeremy Bergen. Similar to the garbage pickup, this is a bylaw hearing for the pickup of recyclable products. Here we believe the bin color will be blue, and it will also be on a 2-week basis. So if they come, say, on a Tuesday, it would be Tuesday following the next Tuesday. So every 2 weeks on Tuesday would be the day that it would be in fact picked up. Now the cost for it is a wee bit more than for the garbage, but in total it comes to the $310. The $310 is the cost of both services for a full 12-month period. Again, just to reiterate, if this program would go into effect on March 1 or the first week of March, the first year's billing would be for 10 months or 5/6 of that amount. Being as how I don't think we've got any new participants on the phone, I won't reiterate all that I said prior to asking for presentations, so if there are specific questions, we will try to answer them. And I thank you for the courtesy shown the first 3 hearings, and hope that it continues throughout the remainder of this 4th hearing. So I will now invite anyone who has comments to make, either for or against the application, to state their name, and they will have the floor.
Ron here, Reeve, Galloway.
Go ahead.
Unless I missed something, could you clarify, is this an all-in package that has to be accepted to garbage and recycle, or can you pick one of the two?
Both. It was proposed as an all-in-one, and that helped to keep the cost down. Obviously, there are some people who are concerned that the cost is more than what they feel would be the benefit that they would get, and we understand that. However, if it were only one service that were provided, I am not sure that the contractor would be able to provide it at half of the cost that's posted.
Okay, yeah, that was my question, because we're kind of talking two different services, so I was unclear. Possibly garbage could be accepted and recycling not. Been fair dialogue. I've got some of my questions answered, and I just say I go with majority. I would just like to see more ratepayers involved in a survey or something for a major decision like this to be made, and I accept what majority chooses.
Okay, thank you.
We could do one or the other, but, you know, depending on the people, feedback.
Yeah, as our CAO said, the OSS would, or contractor would probably be open to one or the other, but I would not hold my breath that the cost would be, you know, half or whatever of the posted quote. Simply because it wouldn't be beneficial or as beneficial for him to come, or for them to come to the community, do the garbage collection, dump that, then do the recycle collection and be on their way. And the recycling is a little bit more entailed, obviously, too, than what the collection of garbage would be, right? At some point in time, that material has to be gone through.
Tom Beeler.
Okay, go ahead, Don.
All right, yeah, thank you for that clarification, because I too was wondering if it's the same contractor even doing both services. You know, in which case, if it was separate contractors, then it would be easier to just pick and choose. But anyways, yeah, I'm in favor of the recycling. Currently, with having to go, you know, drive to Benito or Bozeman with my recycling, I just find that I just can't even justify that, driving my V8 truck to another town to put a little bit of, you know, recycling in there. I think I'm leaving a bigger carbon footprint doing that than I'm saving with my recycling. So I just ended up throwing it in with my garbage in the landfill, and I don't like doing that, but it just doesn't make sense in my mind to drive that distance. So, and again, the cost of the service is cheaper than what it cost me to run my vehicle and gas and my time. So I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Would that also apply to your offspring?
Yeah, no, they're not as much in favor with the recycling.
Okay.
Their names, by the way, is Danny and Melissa Suchaplas.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the comment. Anyone else have a comment?
It's Shelley Holinatti, and again, as stated in the letter that we submitted, I'm actually, you know, against the proposal. Like I said before, in the garbage area, that we can take our recycling and our garbage at the same time to the Swan River landfill. They do have a bin set up there, so it's not a separate cost. It's all in one. And we find it quite convenient. I mean, it only takes a few minutes, you know, just to run over the scale and drop your stuff off, and you're back out within 10 minutes. So I can't justify the cost of it, but I would, if council is leaning towards this proposal, I agree with Don, or with Ron, about getting a survey done. Maybe some of us could volunteer to go door to door and, you know, get opinions from the majority of the people before we made a decision. Because this is just a cost that's going to go up and up and up. And once you're committed, you can't back out.
Well, it is a contract of a definitive length, but so you do know the cost for the coming 5 years, but I understand what you're saying. Beyond that, who knows?
Yep.
Okay, thank you for that. Anyone else have a comment? Or a question?
Miller here again.
Go ahead.
I guess from what Shelley is saying, I'm misinformed. I didn't realize there was a container for recycling at the landfill. I thought once it was done there at the RM yard there that we have to go to Benito or Bozeman. There is, when was there a container set back up at the landfill?
I'm not sure, I think it's always been there. Well,
Not
not
to
always.
interrupt, but yes, it's always been there. And it's right at the beginning, just before you go up the hill towards where the garbage is. There's a bin set up there.
So do you go across the scale with your recycling then?
Yes, yes, we take everything all at the same time, like our garbage as well as our recycle, and go across the scale and drop off our recycle, take our garbage in, and go back across the scale. And it's, I mean, there has been times when we've had more than the 2 or 3 bags of garbage, you know, during holiday season or extra company, and it's only ever cost us $5.
Okay. Thank you for that. Anyone else have a comment or a question? If not, I would like to, and council would also like to thank you very much for your input this evening. And as I said, council will be discussing what is next, and we will keep you informed. So again, thank you for your participation.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you, you too. Okay, this is the resolution. Be it resolved that this public hearing shall now adjourn at 8:11 p.m. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Wills. All in favor? That is carried. Okay. Next resolution. Be it resolved that the regular meeting of council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West shall now reopen at 8:12 p.m. to proceed with the regular business of council. Mover, please. Moved by Councillor Wills, seconded by Councillor Foster. All in favor? That is carried. Okay, we are now at 9.1. Next resolution reads, be it resolved that Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. General checks number 17521 to 17539 in the amount of $886,284.64. Do we have a mover for that resolution? Moved by Councillor Blosha, seconded by Councillor Kushniryk. Do we have any questions on that checklist?
I do. I have a question. Check number 17538. Is that just a deposit to do with bridges, or?
That's just a replacement check for the last one we passed on that first invoice.
Okay.
Yeah, there was an error on it.
Okay. No, that's all I was wondering.
Yeah, so it's just replacement. We haven't got our second invoice yet for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
That was it was Peer Consulting that it was made to, and this is Peer Solution. And so that was the minor change that had to be made on it.
Do we have any communication in paper that that first check was voided?
It'll be exchanged. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for clarification, what's the difference between the Manitoba education check that we passed there and well, obviously the second payment for the school division is for the school division, but what is the education one for?
There's two different levies.
Oh, okay.
You know, one goes to the province and one goes to the school division.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Okay, 9.2, resolution reads, be it resolved that Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. Payroll payments, checks number 3979 to 3992 in the amount of $18,125.24. Do we have a mover, please? By Councillor Foster, seconded by Councillor Kushniryk. Any questions on that list of checks?
I have one question here. Why don't we see accumulated overtime in the bottom anymore?
No, that wasn't available to us today. So that never wasn't reflected on this report. It is something that we'll continue to do.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, all in favor? That is carried. Okay, anyone have anything for budget 2022?
I guess budget 2022, I guess at the next G4, G5, whatever we call it now, we'll make sure that the doctor recruitment fund is on the agenda. So we can discuss it with all the municipalities.
Make a note of that,
I-
James, so that,
I believe the next host is Mountain.
yeah, I think so.
That's a budget item I'd
Yeah.
like to discuss all around.
Okay, anything for discussion, correspondence, unfinished business?
Nope.
Okay, we are down to number 13 then, committee reports. Let's start with Councillor Kushniryk tonight.
Okay, I think the only meeting that I did attend in the last week or so was the RISE meeting, and from that meeting, we've had Courtney Denson resign as our chair from that committee. Councillor Wintoni has stepped up and taken that role. He's interim, I guess.
There was no appointment made to that position. It'll be done.
Oh, I guess, see, just because he's vice chair, I guess he's gonna chair the next meeting, I guess, right? Yeah.
Whatever.
So, anyways, yeah, there was a lot of discussion around the structure of the board, what it's gonna look like. I guess it was asked of us to bring that to you and get your feelings on it. It's something they want to re-examine again at the next G4 and see where everybody's commitments are at that point for RISE again. So it's not straightforward. You can end RISE. You gotta. This is a discussion that we have to have and value our commitment to it.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Blosha.
I had a health foundation meeting and a few HR meetings since our last meeting.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Wills.
I haven't had any meetings since the last time we met, but I have talked to a lot of ratepayers in the past week or so just about the condition of the roads with the snow and the constant blowing. And a lot of them are, you know, they're praising these operators for what they're doing, and I think that's great because these guys deserve a pat on the back. They are working extremely crazy hours right now, and they're doing everything they can to get these roads caught up. And I just want to make sure everybody knows that, and you know,
I think
please,
most people appreciate that.
please be patient with us. We'll get unburied yet.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Foster.
Now, I've had quite a few ratepayer concerns too there, about snow and that there, but I praise the operators too. They put in quite a long stretch, run long hours, and they're doing a good job, I think. We're getting it done, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I took part in a provincial budget consultation and also attended the RISE meeting, as well as answered many calls over the last 2 weeks from ratepayers on a lot of topics. So it's good that people have a question, they can reach out to me, and if I can answer their questions, I'd be more than happy to do so. Mr. Webb.
I haven't had any meetings, but being in the office, I've seen both sides of the grading, and it's like you said, Mother Nature has given us lots of snow and the wind to go with it, but the grader operators and staff are doing great to keep it cleaned up.
Excuse me, I missed my LUD. I was also at an LUD meeting.
That's right, Jim.
On a cold night.
Ready to refresh? Hmm?
Okay, you should have it now.
Here we go. Resolution reads, be it resolved that we do hereby accept the following verbal reports regarding council committees and communications. Councillor Kushniryk, RISE, Councillor Blosha, Health Foundation, LUD and HR meetings. Councillor Wills had ratepayers concerns. Councillor Foster, ratepayer concerns as well. And both mentioned that they are pleased and proud of the work that our grader operators are doing. And myself, we had provincial budget consultation, RISE meeting, as well as HR meetings, which I forgot to mention, and ratepayer concerns. Our CAO had ratepayer concerns and the LUD meeting as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, a mover for that resolution, please. Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Wills. All in favor? That is carried. Okay, we have come to the point in our meeting where once again we will open the phone up to any person attending by telephone who may have a question regarding what was discussed or on the agenda tonight. If you have a question, please state your name and your question or comment.
It's Meredith Reeve. Did I miss the resolution on indemnities? Who moved it, who passed, or seconded?
Meredith, you got an early copy from the office, and that was revised. That didn't need to be on there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And thank you. It's a really nice format, nice and easy to follow, plus the figures are in.
Thank you. Anyone else have a question?
Mr.
Just Ron here, just wanted to say it was a good meeting, good dialogue, and I know council did a lot of work preparing the garbage and recycle quotations, and as I stated, I'll stand with the majority, but thank you for the work.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Jeremy has a question.
I had a question to follow up on Councillor Will's report. Do we ever use contracted, or does the RM ever use contracted services to help with the backlog of snow clearing?
They have in the past. I think 2018, they did bring in some cats. to help with the excessive amount of snow. And we're hoping we don't get to that point. We do have a couple of plans I'd like to talk about yet tonight at some point. But I mean, it does have to happen sometimes.
Is it availability of contractors are to come by, or is it just too expensive?
It's very expensive. Yeah, it's tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. I know the ones we had back in 2018, they were all local guys, and it was easy to get a hold of them if we needed them, but, you know, ultimately it's all by the hour then, you know. But
And just to clarify, I know that Jeremy might be thinking a little bit different than what you answered, Councillor Wills, and that is that the contractors were employed to push back snow. They were not cleaning roads. Okay? So when the plows become overwhelmed and you can no longer wing it out of the way, that's when we've had the contractors in to make room so that the plows could do the job and wing it back off the road
So they're
again.
clearing ditches more so.
Well, pushing
Just-
back in
just
the
getting the
ditches and at the
piles.
corners. The
I see.
corners really
I see
bad.
ridges.
yeah,
The corners get very
I
bad.
guess that's what I meant, but that was much
Yeah.
greater detail.
Yeah, here.
No, but he may have had the misconception that we had a grader going up and down the road from a contractor.
Yeah, no, I see.
And
I see where
that
you're at.
hasn't happened. We used to run the municipality with 3 graders. We now have 4. And obviously, we would hope that over the intervening time, graders have become more capable of doing more things. So unless we get a winter like we've gotten with wind every day, and the snowfall is one thing, but it's the wind that's really hobbled all
Yep.
of the municipalities when it comes to clearing the roads.
That wind we had last Thursday night, that was just unreal, that wind there. It moved so much snow, you know, like,
And makes it rock hard.
I was out in it.
yeah, I was
the
too.
machine, and I couldn't see where I was going. I had no choice but to quit.
I had to pull people out of the
It was
ditch.
terrible.
Yeah. No, I've never been in a storm that bad, ever.
And it's been bitterly cold as well. Thankfully, we haven't had any major hiccup when it comes to breakdown. Because when you get out there when it's 30 plus below, steel becomes very brittle and can break very, very easy. So again, kudos to the operators for keeping their machines up and running and not, being down with breakdowns. Some breakdowns obviously just happen, but our operators are very careful, and it's gotta be the machine that breaks down, not the operator making the machine break down, so we're fortunate. Any other question?
That's all, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, well, we will call a 10-minute recess and then get back and go in camera when that happens. Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. Next resolution, be it resolved that pursuant to section 152 sub 3 of the Municipal Act, council should meet as a committee of the whole to close the meeting and continue discussions in camera regarding personnel matters, negotiations, preliminary discussions. All in favor? Oh, move it, please, first. Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, second by Councillor Foster. All in favor? That is carried. Be it resolved that pursuant to section 152 sub 4 of the Municipal Act, this meeting shall be reopened to the public. Move it, please. Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Foster. All in favor? That is carried.
Just wait.
No, I think when we vote on that one resolution, do I abstain?
No, I was just. Deputy, would you take the chair for this next resolution, please?
Yes.
Which I will be abstaining the vote, from the vote.
Whereas the provincially approved third-party intake reviewer has accepted Code of Conduct complaint number 13 based on a quote released in the media where one councillor shared untrue statements about another council member. Therefore, be it resolved that council hereby agrees with the decision to accept the said complaint. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Foster. Any questions or comments? Call for the question, all in favor?
Yes.
That is passed.
Oh,
One abstained. And myself was a yes.
Okay, thank you, Deputy. Next resolution. Whereas the provincially approved investigator has completed a review of complaint number 7, and based on the facts provided, finds the identified behavior and actions of the respondent contravenes the Code of Conduct for council members, bylaw number 0083-20, section 7.6 and 7.7, and council concurs with the decision. Therefore, be it resolved that Council for the Municipality of Swan Valley West impose a suspension against Councillor Gade for 90 days and that Councillor Gade's compensation be suspended for the same 90 days. These suspensions are set to commence March 5th, 2022. Do we have a mover for that resolution? Moved by Councillor Wills, seconded by Councillor Blosha. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Yes.
That is carried.
One abstention.
Any abstain? One abstention. It's carried 5-1. Okay, is there anything further? Not the last resolution of the evening. Be it resolved that this meeting shall now adjourn at 10:51 p.m. And be it further resolved that the next meeting is Tuesday, February 8th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Do we have a mover for that resolution? Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Foster. All in favor?
Yes.
That is carried.